Welcome to Monday Night Football, where Soccertown USA comes to your living room.
We're back.
Third season, third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm, third year. We've got some great sponsors that want to promote us or sponsor us again. So let's give a quick shout out to those sponsors really quick. Elliott Media, Dalton Utilities, Caldwell Bankers, North Georgia Toyota, my cousin Matt Miranda out there, Engineer Floors, Built Well, and Geiger Law Firm. Thank you, Chris Brown.
Hey, and let's not forget, again this year, OptiLink is going to be bringing you our scoreboard every week. Warren and Griffin, Altman Roofing, and Dalton Collision Center. So thank you to each and every one of those sponsors for believing in this show and believing in what we do. And we're here to hype kids and hype these programs.
Yes, and as today, as tradition, this is the famous coaches show.
Oh, they love it. I think they love it.
Yeah, I think some coaches want to figure out what to do with their hands. You know, they don't know where to put them. Do they do like hand gestures, but then they think they may be in a gang or something? So we're going to make sure they keep that under wraps.
Hands below deck.
Below deck. But Todd, we ended last year in this area. You know, another great run in the playoffs. Some more state champions.
It just highlights why Dalton is Soccertown USA. We were just going over some stats. Last year, 3 state champions, Coahulla Creek, Christian Heritage, Dalton High, all bringing home the silverware. That makes 8 state champions in the past 3 years and 15 total since 2003.
I mean, if you want to look at the pecking order of state champs, you got obviously Dalton up top with 7. You got Southeast coming in with 3. They played in 5 state championships and brought 3 home. Then you got Coahulla Creek coming up there. And then after Coahulla Creek is Northwest, Christian Heritage, Dalton Academy, all with 3 state titles, 15 since 2003. And that is why we are self-proclaiming ourselves as Soccertown USA.
And let's go to the girls' side. The girls' side is just improving year after year after year. And those of you that are watching social media, that you're watching, some of these feeds, these girls are putting in the time. They're putting in the work. Like, you can just see it right before your eyes happening. And I don't think it's going to be very long before they're going to be joining that state championship conversation. Yes. And so big things to come.
And since we're talking about the girls, we have a new guest. We had to get rid of Roy. Roy just couldn't cut it no more.
Cut it.
Manny, Manny's got too much school board duties and stuff like that. So we said, Manny, we're going to let you handle that. So we brought on a new co-host for this season. Her name is Rocio Carrizales, or is known as Chio. I feel like she's going to bring a lot to the show. She's a former Dalton High School player, former Dalton State College player, currently coaching at Hammond Creek Middle School. Todd, this was your idea.
Well, I felt like we really did need a third. I thought that it brought good chemistry, and I thought, the women's game needs to be represented. You and I can watch from afar, but bringing somebody on that's lived that life all the way from, probably the under 6 all the way up through middle school, high school, the club scene, and into college, and now coaching at the collegiate level, or soon to be, so she'll bring insight and perspective that Juan and I can't bring, and I just really look forward to having her on the show.
Yeah, looking forward to having her on here. And as mentioned, we've got coaches lined up. As mentioned, this is going to be the coaches show. So we're going to ask them those questions, that we've gotten already from some social media people. So we want to ask those questions. We want to see what their expectations are.
We're going to dig in a little bit.
Yes. And here we're about to get ready to go to commercial break. When we come back from that commercial break, we're actually going to have our first show, and I'm looking forward to this. The Raider Rage and the Lady Raider Rage will be coming on. So we look forward to seeing them after this commercial break.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football.
And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on.
That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles.
And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Come see us.
Hey,
That's our part.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
I chose OptiLink because of the great local service.
We know computers, and OptiLink knows internet with high-speed symmetrical uploads and downloads.
My customers depend on me for safety and security, and I need fast and dependable internet. That's why I chose OptiLink.
Some people say you can't have fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today, 706-529-1313.
I'm Waylon. I live in Dalton, and I'm the owner of Elite Lineman Training Institute.
And I'm Mitch Sanford with Biltwell Bank.
When I left Georgia Power to start my own business, I met with Mitch and told him what we were doing.
I told Waylon, you're the kind of business we want to work with.
We have a very high standard for how we work as a company and especially how we treat our clients. After a very candid conversation with Mitch, we knew we were on the same page.
Today, we're working on several businesses, training and real estate.
Because they do the heavy lifting, so I can focus on my business. My bank is built well.
And welcome back to Monday Night Football Coaches Edition. And as we mentioned before the break, we said we'd have our new guest, our first guest of the day. And our first guests are from Southeast High School, Coach Miguel Garcia from the Raider Rage, and then Coach Todd Close with the Lady Raider Rage. Miguel, let's just go ahead and start with you. Last year was your first year as coaching. This is your second season. What are your expectations coming into this season?
Well, Juan, I think the expectations are always going to be, let's win a state championship. That's always going to be my motto. I just want to win state championships.
Coach Close, what about your expectations this year? Obviously, last year, your girls' team started out hot. Y'all were like 8-0 or 9-0, and then y'all went on a little skid, and then first-round loss, which was very unexpected for us because you had a very solid team. What are your expectations this year for your team?
Honestly, I'd like to have 2 halves of the season where we play the way we're supposed to play. Just improve every game, work on getting better, and peak at the right time.
Okay, and Coach Close, I'm going to keep it with you really quick. So obviously, you guys have just wrapped up tryouts, workouts. So far, what's your squad looking like? Who are some key players that you already pinpoint? You have some returners coming back. You have Camacho forward, who was very solid as a freshman last year. Is there anyone else that you see out there that's standing out for you?
Yeah, I really like Ashley as a defender. I wish weather had been nicer, so I had a little bit more time to look at people. We were out of school for snow, a lot of rain this week, so with parent meetings and player meetings, it's not gone practice-wise the way I would like.
Okay.
So we got 4 days for our first scrimmage, and hopefully I can get a little bit better idea of how we're going to look.
And Coach Garcia, what about you? I know I saw the little hype video y'all put out there. I think we even shared it on our social media about how the boys have been working since the summer. You just finished. Is there anyone key that you're looking at? Is there some people that you may miss? There's some people out with injuries that you may not have again this year. What's it looking like with your team?
No, I think we had a great offseason. I couldn't complain. You look at being essentially a new, basically almost a new team because we did lose about 15 seniors. So, I take this approach and I said, I'm going to work as hard as we can in this offseason to start kind of knowing some of the new guys. And then you start seeing the new leaders are kind of stepping up as we went through the offseason. You got Alan Monteroso, who's a junior, who has been there playing varsity or dressing varsity since freshman. Jonathan Garcia has had a great offseason, and then you look at Jairo Garcia coming back. He'll be anchoring our defense. And then when you think about injuries, you look at Jonah Hernandez, who we were expecting to come back, and unfortunately he had a re-injury on his ACL, so we don't get him back. And then you look at goalkeeping. We have a goalkeeper who was injured, who was a starting goalkeeper his sophomore year, that should be coming back, and eventually he is healing, getting better with Ishmael Pimentel. But then, what a fortunate situation that we're in that we still have Victor Cordova, who has been there for the last 2 years.
And it sounds like your squad, so really you're not rebuilding, you're just reloading. It sounds like it.
That's been the model for us as we went through the offseason. This is what we call it. We call it the Race Reload. And then you look at the freshman squad that, when I went out to that middle school championship, it was just a full crowd out there for, both of the feeder programs playing in that championship.
Yes, and I was out there at that game as well.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Close, what about you? I know it's a little different with the girls' team, but as we've seen year in and year out, the girls are getting better. Question to you is, and it was brought on by Chio, who's not here. Chio was wanting to know, do you see a big difference in the development of the girls with them playing club ball year-round here in this area? Does that make a difference for you when you get them, when they start playing with you guys?
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at somebody who plays soccer versus somebody that's sitting at home, they're not getting the reps for whatever position they're playing as everyone else. So I have absolutely no problem when girls are, hey, I play for Team X, Team Y, whatever. It worries me as a coach when they try to do everything. You know, if they're doing, we're playing at Southeast, or now we're going to go travel, and now we're doing it all at the same time. I'm like, when are you giving your body time to rest? And so that's always a concern, but I've never cared if they go play club.
That's good. Like I said, so I know. What about you, Miguel? I know your boys play year round. I mean, do you see the difference in the quality of players you have now compared? You were a player 20 years ago. So, what is the difference that you see?
No, I mean it's absolutely. I think that's one of the things. You know, we did a lot of the off-season work that we did, but I know some of the boys were tied out. And that's their opportunity because they're going to be tied out for the next 4 months. They don't, a lot of them have to work to help out their families. So some of them were not coming to the off-season workouts, but I know that they were playing year-round. And then they show up last week, when we start tryouts, and they're not missing a beat.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a big difference, I don't know, for us, I've noticed that you guys will now have a turf field. So do you feel like that's going to be a big advantage to you all for weather, like where games aren't being delayed like they have in past, or is it going to be a deterrent for you all?
I mean, I can go ahead and say that I think it's going to be an adjustment period for the boys because they, especially the upperclassmen, have been used to playing on that grass field for the past 3 years, and some comments have been made. I think that it's going to take. Coach, I don't think we're used to this because we had it last night for practice, and they just made the statement. So I think it's going to be hard at first, but they'll adjust.
Okay. What about you, Coach? Close?
I mean, I can agree with that wholeheartedly. It's different turf across the county, and you step out on one field, and you're like, oh, this is going to take some getting used to. But every county got the same thing. So it depends on who we're playing before we're really going to have that home field advantage.
Okay. And really, we have a little over a minute left before, but we're bringing back the City Cup. That's a big rivalry cup that started. The first edition for the ladies was last year. This will be the third edition for the boys. Dalton's taken it twice. I don't think it brings up a conversation, but how you're, because we're matching up the schools that play each other on a regular basis. Northwest, Southeast, Coahulla Creek, and Dalton, and so. Are y'all putting any focus there, or are you just putting focus on let's win region first, win state championship, or what's your focus?
I mean, I'm going to say we got to focus one game at a time. And I think the results are going to be given even for that cup. They're going to be coming in as we go. So just one game at a time, and then that's going to play out by itself.
What about you, Coach Close?
Couldn't agree more. There's no point in looking at the end of the season when we got a scrimmage next Friday.
And the way we look at it, we have to look ahead. So we start looking ahead. We've already highlighted the games. But like I said, first of all, thank you all for being here on the First Coach Show. We look forward to hopefully you all have a successful season. And with that, we'll conclude this segment, and then we'll bring on Christian Heritage here in the next segment. Thank you.
We provide an excellent service for individuals who've had catastrophic injury cases, people who've had injuries that are going to last them, unfortunately, for the rest of their life. Being there for a person, being there to actually see them get better, that is what this field is all about. That's what we're really striving to do, and that's what we think we provide. You still have to have that empathy for the person so you can tell their story to the jury. At the end of the day, that's where your case is heard.
Has a recent storm damaged the roof of your home? Altman Roofing has been restoring homes since 1984. In Dalton alone, over 2,000 roofs have been replaced by Altman. Altman Roofing will also work with your insurance claim. For a free 15-minute estimate for roofing, siding, or gutters, call 706-529-8136 or visit altmanroofing.com. You can also see their professional work on Facebook.
Thank you.
Thank you, North Georgia. Gracias, North Georgia.
We appreciate you, North Georgia.
I'm Seymour. I'm John Moore. Like the Georgia Bulldogs, we're number one.
Thank you, North Georgia, for voting us number one 6 years in a row.
If you're hurt and want the best,
give us a call. We'll do the rest.
Welcome back to another segment of Monday Night Football, Coaches Show Edition 2024. It's my honor and pleasure to have head coaches of Christian Heritage, which is first-year coach John Eric Bolger and returning state champion Rachel Boyd. Coach Bolger, let's start with you. Sure. Coming into the high school scene from the club scene, kind of like what's your approach coming into this year? What's your mindset? Kind of what are some of your goals?
Well, first of all, I'm just happy to have the opportunity to be doing this. So I have a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Boyd. And so for me, it's an opportunity to get back and coach school soccer for the first time since 1993. So it's been a minute, but really, I think more than anything else, we have a team made up of multi-sport athletes, girls that play 2, 3, maybe even 4 sports over the years during their time in high school. So really just try to teach the players, give them a better understanding of what the game is about, so that they have maybe a deeper appreciation of the game when they're done playing. And as they get older, they've got a better understanding when they have children of their own, or when they become an aunt or a grandmother, whatever the case may be. But just try to give them a deeper understanding of soccer and what it means to watch the game and play the game. So that's really the objective. We would like to win as many games as we can, but
absolutely.
But realistically, it's first about teaching the game.
And Coach Boyd, you're coming in from a little bit different perspective. You're coming in off your first state championship, an unbelievable run last year, 13-1-3, region champions, and of course, eventual state champions. Your only loss last year was to 3A champion, local powerhouse Cahulla Creek. How has your mindset been preparing for this season, say, versus last season?
Yeah, we had a lot of guys on our team that didn't get to see the field a ton, but that got to experience everything last year and learned from the group that left. And even the guys that left last year from last year's team, I still had juniors that were out there part of that group that was leading a lot of our success. And so in thinking about this season, I have a lot of guys that got to taste and see, and they're hungry and they're ready and they're doing all of the work. And for us, as John was saying, as a teams with multi-sport athletes, I'm still waiting on starters. We'll be waiting maybe for a few weeks for some wrestling and the basketball players, but everyone's filling in the holes. Everyone's trying to help us figure out the puzzle pieces. What I just appreciate is that every single guy on my roster, they just want to be out there and they're willing to do whatever to be the best teammate they can be, to put their team first, and to just make us successful. So I'm super excited. I'm super excited about this season. I'm excited to see the younger guys that didn't get as much playing time step in and just see how they come through this season.
And Coach Bolger, this is a question that Chio had for you specifically. What factors do you believe have helped the female players improve locally?
Count on Chio to ask a good question. Well, I think when it comes to soccer, the most important thing for girls in this area, any area, but specifically our area, Northwest Georgia, is that they're playing as close to year-round as possible. And that doesn't mean not playing other sports, but soccer is a game that requires a lot of time and a lot of investment. It requires a lot of time between the player and the soccer ball. So, over the years, obviously we have a club locally that has a lot of female players in it, and was started 15 plus years ago, and that has helped. There are other clubs in the area as well. And so getting getting as many young girls to play soccer as early as possible is really important. And for the players that are in high school now in this area, at all of the public schools, and a few of the players at Christian Heritage who have played and have played in our club previously, that's really what drives player development, is to be able to take those players and expose them to competition outside of our area in major metropolitan areas, Atlanta, Nashville, et cetera, and let them see what's really out there in terms of girls soccer. And I think if you went around to a lot of the high schools, all of the schools in this area, that's what the players would tell you. And that continued involvement for young girls in the game of soccer is what's required. And in turn, that benefits all of us as high school coaches, because the kids are out playing with the soccer ball and developing a relationship with the soccer ball over the course of, close to 12 months every year.
And Coach Boyd, we mentioned the talent that you had last year, and I'm sorry to do this to you, but you lost Peter Pridgeon, Marco Aristigi, Forsman, Simpson, Bishop. Who are some of the players you're looking to step in to those boots, and those are some sizable shoes to fill?
Yeah. Carson Russell, I still have him, and he's solid in the middle. Manny Cruz in goal. We'll have Joseph Bolger as a senior. I have Luis Salinas that came over this year. He's a freshman. He's extremely technical. He'll be in the middle too. Sam Bishop, Levi's little brother, who actually got to play on the field last year for a state championship. He helped us out tremendously. So, I mean, and I have more. I have more guys than that. So I know last year everyone saw it. They saw us. They thought it's just the 9. You're going to be hurting. It's going to look different. It's going to look different with who I have on the field. Sure. I don't think we're going to be hurting in the ways we're going to be competitive. I don't think that we're going to be hurting in the ways people maybe envision.
You feel this is more of a reload than a rebuild?
A mix. Okay. I'll say it's a mix. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And Coach Bolger, I don't know how familiar you've been able to become with your team so early in the season. As we mentioned, at a place like Christian Heritage, a smaller school, you guys have to have multi-sport athletes, so you're waiting on some of your players to come out. But are there any players that you can kind of point out to us to watch out for this year?
Well, we are waiting for some players from basketball, and I think 1 or 2 wrestlers as well. But you have some players who have played at the high school level for a year or 2, and to be honest, I'm still getting to know all of the players.
Absolutely.
So it's but a couple of girls that I know fairly well. Obviously, my oldest daughter, Andrea, who used to play in our soccer club years ago and played last year as a freshman and is playing again this year. And she's a big reason, frankly, why I decided to come and coach at the high school level. And she's also a multi-sport athlete. Avery Simpson, she played club soccer many years ago, and she's played at CHS, I think, all 4 years. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rachel.
Okay. And her brother's Noah. So we have a lot of siblings.
Yeah, and Vicky, how do you pronounce Vicky's last name?
Zhu?
Zhu, yeah, Vicky Zhu. So those 3 players, I would say, just in terms of what I know so far, and then you have a couple basketball players, Taylor Fisher, who plays, I think, every sport that's out there, and is a tremendous competitor, and London Wagner, who was our goalkeeper last year.
Okay, so you got some players coming back and some folks to look forward to. Okay, very good. Well, thank you once again to Coach John Bolger, as well as returning state champion coach Rachel Boyd. Got to throw that in there. Stay with us. Next up, we have Murray County High School.
My car looks totally ruined. I don't even know what to do.
Locally owned Dalton Collision Center is the only choice when it comes to all of your auto body and refinish needs. Our experienced staff provides quality work from start to finish,
We'll help with your claim and even assist with getting your rental car. Everything from A to Z.
So you can focus on life, we can focus on getting you there.
We provide an excellent service for individuals who've had catastrophic injury cases. People who've had injuries that are going to last them, unfortunately, for the rest of their life. Being there for a person, being there to actually see them get better, that is what this field is all about. That's what we're really striving to do, and that's what we think we provide. You still have to have that empathy for the person so you can tell their story to the jury. At the end of the day, that's where your case is heard.
This year, Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty is proudly commemorating our 50th anniversary, and what a journey it has been. For 5 decades, Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty has been the heartbeat of real estate in Northwest Georgia.
We've had the privilege of helping thousands of homeowners with their real estate transactions. Thank you, Dalton and Northwest Georgia.
Whether you're buying, selling, or expanding your business, trust the experience that comes with 50 years of excellence. Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty with offices in Dalton, Calhoun, Cartersville, Ringgold, and Cleveland, Tennessee.
Welcome back to Monday Night Football, our coaches edition. Here we are with our, hard to believe, we're already third segment coach, for Murray County. But before that, we want to get into our sponsors. So we want to thank Elliott Media, Dalton Utilities, Caldwell Bankers, North Georgia Toyota, Engineer Floors, Built Well, Geiger Legal. We want to thank OptiLink, who'll be sponsoring our scoreboard once again. Warren and Griffin, thank you for supporting us down here in Dalton. Altman Roofing, and Dalton Collision Center.
Hey, we got to pay them bills, people.
Yes,
it is what it is. So thanks to them for.
Obviously we have to pay because look, we got brand new.
Everything's brand new. It's beautiful.
We got brand new graphics. We got a brand new logo.
They probably would have liked some brand new hosts, but that's not going to happen.
Yes. All right, Todd. What do you got going on?
So we want to welcome head coach of the Murray, first year head coach of the Murray County Boys, Brian McBrayer. You're taking over for Coach Marco Bergano, which we had a great relationship with. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So going into your first year, your team's coming off an 8-9 season, third in region, went to state, got knocked out in the first round. So how are you approaching this season? Kind of what's your big goal there?
Obviously, every season you want to improve on the last. We had some rough growing up we had to do. We had a pretty young core last year, and I think those rough patches that we went through last year is going to lend to being able to make improvements this year.
Now, you did lose some talent last year, significant. Brian Reyes, Yanni Bautista, Ian Guzman, and Brian Medina as well. How do you look to replace that? Who are the guys you're going to be leaning on?
The guys that we're going to be leaning on this year to replace, it's hard to replace like a Yanni Bautista in the middle. He was really the heartbeat of the team. Brian Medina, he was our leading scorer last year. But we have Julio Escobar and Francisco Perez up front. They're a pretty dynamic goal-scoring duo. We're going to try a few different things to replace Yanni. We're going to throw some things at the wall. We're going to move one of our defenders that we had last year into that position. He's shown some skill. Juan Raimundo, he's going to try to fill those shoes. He's a senior this year, so he brings a lot of experience to the team. So maybe we can lean on him, to kind of set the tone for the team.
Coach, really for me, I got a question. What is, obviously Whitfield County seems to get a lot of the shine because on the boys' side, every school here has won a state championship. How does that fuel? Do you see that fuels your boys? Like, hey, we're just as good as those people on the other side of the river, or do they feel like it's a burden on them? What is their expectation when they play a school like a Coahulla Creek or a?
I think they definitely, they get it. They understand, that dynamic. And I think it does kind of light a fire. Like, you said, we're just as good as a lot of these teams. Why aren't we being portrayed in the same light as they are? And to be honest, I think it comes down to the different communities. The Whitfield community kind of does get behind their teams a little bit more. where in, Murray County, it's more of a football, basketball, but that's changing. I can see it over the last few years that I've been coaching here. There's been more community support. There's been more parent support. So I think we're in pretty good shape. The next 5 to 10 years of growth, we should be right there in the same conversation of, spotlight with Whitfield County.
But it all wasn't barren, Todd. I think they did bring something home last year.
Yeah, here's the thing. Nothing creates support like some hype. So you guys brought this little jewel home last year.
Yes, sir.
That'd be you were the first winners of the Fort Mountain Cup, and you did that at home in fairly dramatic fashion.
Last game of the year.
Yep. So if you could explain, the rivalry between you guys and North Murray, and what it meant to bring this home, whether there's a trophy involved or not.
Yeah, well, absolutely. In the grand scheme of things, the Murray County North Murray rivalry is relatively young. They're a relatively young school compared to others, but it is a very intense rivalry in every sport, no matter what it is. So to be able to bring home like a trophy or just, a winning record each year against them for both teams, that is, one of their things you circle on the calendar, win region, get to the playoffs, win the playoff game. And for us in North Murray on that list, is beat the other squad.
Right.
So, it's very, very important to us to, live up to our end of that and, bring the cup home for that first year.
So I want to talk a little bit about the women's game, and Coach Clemens couldn't be here today, but I just want to talk a little bit about her team. I text back and forth with her. They're coming off a 7-9-1 season, third in the region, went out in the first round to a really strong Athens Academy team. Lost a little bit of talent last year, but she's coming back. Honestly, a lot of senior leadership and a lot of people with a lot of players with a lot of minutes. Let's say captains are going to be Linda Lopez, Madeline Lynch, Edith Perez, and Jennifer Lopez. And so this is a team.
Oh, she got a J-Lo on her team?
She does.
Okay.
She does. So I got big expectations for this team, honestly, in that region. She's got a lot of leadership there, and I just kind of look for them to build on last year. It wouldn't surprise me to see them have a winning record this year and maybe pushing for a region championship. Not a lot. I'm not trying to put anything extra on you there, Murray, but you ladies have shown a lot of growth over the last couple of years, and I think the leadership and the talent's there to push for a championship.
Absolutely.
And they are also reigning the first women's Fort Mountain Cup winners, so don't want to take anything away from that.
So really quick, obviously you guys finished third in the region last year. I'm assuming your expectation this year is, hey, we won that region title.
Absolutely.
You have Gordon Central in your region. You have North Murray that's in your region. What game or games are pivotal for you all to bring that region championship home?
Obviously, the North Murray game, they're always competing for, the top of the region. Model is a team that, we circle. They won it last year, and it was the deciding factor for them to win was us beating North Murray at the end of the season. So North Murray and North Murray and Model are the two top dogs that we look at, but that's not to overlook Gordon Central, who
they made us Sweet 16 a couple years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. We went wire to wire with them every game last year. Fannin County, we split 1-1. We actually won at their place, and they won at our place. Really, all of the teams, but Model and North Murray are what we view as the top dogs that we kind of have to really lock in on game weeks for them.
Okay. Well, I want to thank Coach McBrayer for coming on. We look forward to doing some more stuff with you as the season goes on. Wish you guys all the luck. And Juan, who do we got coming up next?
We have, and you would ask me, we got
sprung it on him.
We got the Dalton Academy.
There we go.
So after this commercial break, we'll have the Dalton Academy back and some new shoes to fill.
Here's two of the nicest guys in the car business.
Hey, it's Eddie and Greg here from North Georgia Toyota. It's our big midwinter sales event. And our new car and truck inventory is steadily increasing. So shop now while selection is at its best. Greg, other dealers are going to say, we can't do that. What do we say? We say, oh yes, we can. And that's only at North Georgia Toyota in Dalton. Come see us.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet? When I work from home, I need fast, reliable internet. OptiLink provides that with no hidden fees.
Our customers depend on us for great service and quality.
And that's why we chose OptiLink Internet.
As we serve the needs of our clients, we need reliable internet service. That's why I chose OptiLink as my hometown provider.
Some people say you can't get fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today.
I'm Purvi, live in Dalton, Georgia with Dos First Fresh Mexican Grill.
And I'm Rusty with Builtwell Bank.
My husband and I are business owners, and we have known Rusty for 15 years now.
Yes, we've done a lot of projects together.
That's right. And we need banking partners that understand our small business need.
We understand you can have a great idea, but you need financing.
Everyone at the bank knows my name, which I love. For my personal and business needs, my bank is Builtwell.
And welcome back to Monday Night Football. As we said after that last break, we have TDA, the Dalton Academy.
Yeah.
We're blessed to have Coach Jacobo, Coach Griffin.
Yeah, he's gone to a bachelor party, so have a blast.
Oh, so now let's go ahead, before we get into, let's go ahead and talk about that. That is a big change at Dalton Academy this year. First 2 years, they were led by the feisty
the Fighting Ruries. We'll have to
Fighting Ruries.
Yeah, we'll have to retire that. That
the Fighting
no
Ruries
longer
are
fits.
now. They're no longer going to be known as the Fighting
We'll have to come up with some other annoying nickname that you guys don't like.
And they do miss them. So now they're coming in with Asher Griffin, but he's been on that staff for the last couple of years.
Comes from a great soccer pedigree, great background.
He played down at Johnson High School, lost Dalton High in 2015 in the state championship game, which he doesn't like to talk about, but we'll bring it up when we see him.
Hey, we know where he lives and where he coaches now, so that's all right.
But big difference there for them. Obviously, they got put out. They were defending state. They were defending champ. They were state champs their first year in the program. Second year, they still made it, but they
went out in the second round to Atlanta International, which we had talked about on the show that probably because of the draw that should have at least been a semifinal match because it was just a bad draw, to be honest with you, because they were TDA was easily on the boys' side, was one of the top programs at that level. And this year, we'll go ahead and go over the boys a little bit. And I know you had talked to Asher a little bit earlier. They're losing seniors Brando Galindo and Ahale Nolasco. So, but they're also bringing back, players like Christian Cunha and Andy Reynoso, which we all know kind of went on that trial down in Argentina, and he is back. So he's going to be looking to lead that team. Some good characters. And their first match, it looks like, I'm trying to look here. Who's y'all's first match against?
We got the scrimmage with Christian Heritage.
That's right. That's right. The Battle of Mill Creek.
Armucci after that.
Armucci.
All right. Very good.
And I think you got some Asher sent you some messages this morning.
That's right. So he said they have a big senior class. They have a lot of leaders, and they're making their last push for another championship. So it looks like they're sticking with high bar, being competitive, and I think you went over the other stuff with the.
I mean, obviously, I think Dalton Academy on the boys' side, and Jacobo, we'll get in with the girls' maybe, but obviously the boys have set a standard for them. Every team that they play in the region is knowing they're going to be the team to beat.
Yeah.
And I looked at their schedule already this year, and they are not backing down. They're scheduling aggressively again. They're playing all the area schools.
Yep.
On the boys' side. They're playing Southeast. They're playing Northwest. They're playing Christian Heritage. I'm looking forward to seeing that Christian Heritage match this year, just because last year was so entertaining.
It was. And the Battle of Mill Creek grows. And just so you guys know, if you look on a map, those two schools, Christian Heritage and TDA, are a mile apart, separated by Mill Creek, and it's straight through the woods. So this is a great the school sizes are very close. So it's a great rivalry that's going on.
This Tuesday. This coming Tuesday.
So by the time you see this, it will have already happened.
Correct.
Moving on, let's talk about your girls program.
Sure.
The stat when I was looking at your record last year, 2-9-1. Let's set that aside.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fact that 6 of those games you lost by less than 2 goals.
Right.
How do you flip the script on that and bring those to draws and or better wins?
Well, shout out to you guys first for doing all this, and you're right on target. So we talked about this yesterday. We scrimmaged and we set up how we're going to play against Christian Heritage, and we talked about exactly that. Our focus is we got to score. All the games were so close, one goal. Sometimes it hurt because we would score the first 5 minutes. Against Chattooga, we scored the first 5 minutes. It was super exciting, and then just at the end, that last third, we weren't completing. So,
is it about taking the mentality and learning how to win and learning how to play with a lead versus? You look at a lot of teams that just like expect to win. You're building a mentality, and you guys have, had a lot of close games and not pulled it out. Is it about making that transition to learning to win?
It is. We are just every skill. I think every skill we're starting from zero, and so we're building a base. And so first you got to get to the last third. Then we get there, and we make sure that we're doing that consistently, and then. How do you finish that? But if it's okay, I just wanted to give some shout outs. So shout outs to you guys for doing this. And I just want to say shout out to my wife and my son. Love them to death. And my coaches, Dr. Scott and Dr. Medeiros, for supporting us. It makes a big difference when you're trying to build from zero.
No, and you mentioned Medeiros and the support, backing that TDA has from their administrators is 100%. Like, I see that, and they're at every game, and they're cheering along and everything. So, Coach Jacobo, really with you, this is the third year. We've discussed that, Todd's put it, they said by year 3, this is where we should know, because you have 3 years with your freshman class that are now juniors. But
I'm just putting unnecessary pressure on everybody this year.
But I'm also going back, so the transition from you were at Dalton High. Well, obviously the skill set and the level was higher. And then you come to TDA where you're having to build that up. Do you see now in year 3, has the skill level have you seen it getting better and where you're not having to teach as much basics or, but obviously you still have to teach some of the fundamentals, but do you see that you're not starting at ground zero anymore?
So tryouts, first day of tryouts, they scrimmage, and the 3 coaches were just sitting there going, wow, such a difference to start because they're passing, they're possessing, they're moving the ball around, they're communicating with each other. So, compare that to the tryout of first year, huge difference. And I was going to say, even though the skill, you're right, DHS and with the bells, the skill's different, but the expectation, the bar, and the intensity is the same. So these girls are coming in, no soccer, but the expectation and how they train. So the drills, the intensity of the drill is the same. They're doing the same training also. We do the same skills, skill building drills that we use in the other programs. So I think all of that hopefully speeds up the process, and we start seeing some results.
So Todd, here before we close out, do you have any? What else you got to ask?
Well, not so much ask, but I just want to tell everybody out there, if you follow no other account besides WDNM Monday Night Football, follow the TDA girls. Yes. What's your Instagram? Do you know it off the top of your head?
Dalton Pumas.
At Dalton Pumas. It's a great follow. You really get to see the work that these girls are putting in on a day in, day out basis. Like all off season, it's been some really good stuff.
And it takes you behind the scenes and sort of makes you feel like you get to know these players on a different level. So big shout out to you guys for doing that. We do follow those. And if you haven't had a chance to go see the Dalton Academy Pumas, please go out to Dalton Stadium. As we mentioned, they're going to be, I think there's a big expectation here from them this year. So, and with that, we're going to cut the commercial break, and we'll have our next set of coaches.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
Who's up for some football? That's not football. This is football. And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on. That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles. And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Come see us.
Hey, that's our part.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
I chose OptiLink because of the great local service.
We know computers, and OptiLink knows internet with high-speed symmetrical uploads and downloads.
My customers depend on me for safety and security, and I need fast and dependable internet. That's why I chose OptiLink.
Some people say you can't have fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today, 706-529-1313.
I'm Waylon. I live in Dalton, and I'm the owner of Elite Lineman Training Institute.
And I'm Mitch Sanford with Biltwell Bank.
When I left Georgia Power to start my own business, I met with Mitch and told him what we were doing.
I told Waylon, you're the kind of business we want to work with.
We have a very high standard for how we work as a company and especially how we treat our clients. After a very candid conversation with Mitch, we knew we were on the same page.
Today, we're working on several businesses, training and real estate.
Because they do the heavy lifting, so I can focus on my business. My bank is built well.
Hey, and welcome back to Monday Night Football 2024 Coaches Show edition. Joining me on the show now is the Coahulla Creek contingent. We got Coach Aurelio Jacobo, coach of the boys, and Coach Shannon Coley, girls coach. Let's start with you, Coach Coley. Your girls coming off a great season where you went 14-5, second in the region. Only Bremen standing in your way, and also you went out and made it to the second round of the state playoffs, bowing out against a powerhouse Wesleyan team. What are you looking for coming into the season this year?
Just good soccer, consistency. We've got new players, some of the same, and then but we're going to rely on some that were on the bench last year to come in and play some starting roles, and so just building some chemistry. And I got a good group of girls. It's just about building that chemistry now.
Yeah, sometimes getting that consistency out of the younger players, it requires a little. You don't see it till maybe mid-season, do you?
Right. Well, some of the girls, this is the only time they play. They play when it's soccer season, and then I've got a few that play year-round. Those are the ones that are kind of our team leaders, and the others are looking to build on. So, so it's about trying to have those two meet together and fill those roles that sometimes can get a little, I'm relying a lot on the girls that are playing all the time. I know that's true with all the schools around here, the ones who have those players that are playing travel soccer, playing high level of soccer, and then you've got to fill those roles with the other girls around them and somehow build team chemistry and keep that rolling.
And Coach Jacobo, you're coming off your third state championship, a 19-1-2 season, region champs, and of course the 2023 3A state championship. You're losing, or you lost Sal Barcenas, you lost Tony Mendiola. Man, those are some absolute powerhouses. How do you feel those gaps?
It's definitely going to be a building year. Those were really great players, all around, and it's going to be one of those things where we had Cruz, we had Omar that stepped up at the final. And those would be the key players that will be filling those spots. And then, we're having to fill in 6 starting spots. That's a big number.
Yes.
And those numbers, of course, come from the defense. And we had Adal and we had Luis that were just phenomenal players in the back. And it's gonna take some time, but I think we will be able to do it this year.
And Coach Coley, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up the fact that you guys finished second in the region last year, and you get that draw against, that brought you to the Wesleyan early on. How do you navigate past to Bremen, and what's that look like?
So Bremen went on to play for the state championship. They lost in the championship game. They're a tough, really tough team. There will be a tough team this year in our region. So you've got to you've got to play them really smart because that game can get away from you really fast. Right. We can meet their intensity. We've got to find ways to up our game when we play them. Just because when a team that talented, you got to be a little bit more strategic. You just can't go straight at them.
Yeah, I got to think that the games that you play in the Soccer City Cup against some of the local teams really preps you guys for what you're going to see, because Bremen is a team that's on that level with some of the bigger schools, your Northwest, your Daltons. They're on that level easily. So I got to think that's got to prep you pretty good.
For sure, yeah. For in our region, Bremen, that's the team to beat.
Yep.
Outside our region, of course, Northwest, Southeast, Dalton, our local rivals. Those will be the best teams we play.
And Coach Okobo, last year you guys coming in second in Soccer City Cup as well, and a great showing for you guys. When you look at the area, I mean, 3 state championships, 2 in the last 3 years. I mean, you guys have a dynasty going here? Is this a dynasty at 3?
The program's definitely growing, and it's like I've talked to other coaches and they're like, well, we're not ready for you guys yet. Like people that are region below us or even like North Murray, year by year things change. We lose players, and I think nobody should shy away from like a challenge. We're building like they are. So, I mean, it's definitely we've had great players, and we've finished well in the past seasons, and I mean, it's looking good for the program.
And Coach Coley, let's go back to you. This year I know you're going to be leaning heavily on Natalie Brito to deliver the goals this year. She had an outstanding season. If I remember correctly, 32 goals last year.
She did, yeah.
Yeah. So have you laid down any challenges for her to top that? No pressure on her, of course.
Well, I tell you,
just 32 goals. If you could lead the area in goals, that'd be great.
Lay down the challenge. So the challenge really is for the whole team, because she wouldn't score those 32 goals if she didn't have good player around her. So
you got to have a Lily Johnson delivering those final
Lily
balls,
Johnson,
right?
sending them across. So we're asking players to do maybe different roles because we have got a little different setup this year. And so, Megan Ramsey playing in the middle, and Lily helping out. Yeah, those you got to have really, really strong players around you to make players like Natalie Brito look so good. Natalie is really good at finishing, as you can see, with 32 goals. But it takes that whole team chemistry, to get the ball to her. And also, we're hoping that other girls can also score a few goals this year as well. So it won't just be on Natalie. Natalie will do her thing, but all the other players got to do their thing too.
And Coach Okobo, last year in that championship game, which was, you watched that game, and it was just an absolute, I felt it was you guys just had so many opportunities, right? Yeah. But in the end, if I'm not mistaken, was it Cruz Barcenas that had the game? And he's going to be a sophomore this year?
He's a junior this year.
He's a junior this year. So as a sophomore, he delivered the goods. What are you looking for a guy like that, which really just springboarding from that championship game into this year?
Well, there's definitely already, I've noticed just a different morale in him since he came off of that great win, And I tell players, and I use players like him to motivate those younger ones, because going into the final, we had Saul that was just pretty much helping everybody else, building on everybody, and making sure that they knew that he wanted things to be done a specific way so that the whole team would win as a group. And I think Saul was one of those that at the beginning he was nervous and he knew what kind of game he was able to play, but then at the end of the day, even at the half, I spoke to him and I was like, listen, Saul has done what he can. Tony has done what he can to get us here. It's going to take you guys stepping up and finishing. And you could see that. It was chance after chance at the final, and we just couldn't score. And then it came down to the very end. And, I mean, if you look at that goal, it was nothing but it's what you look for in those professional leagues, bringing it down, setting the ball.
The touch was beautiful, yeah. Well, guys, I want to wish you good luck this season. It's going to be a great season. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to going out and seeing that new turf field you guys have.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
So stay tuned. Next up, we have Northwest Whitfield coming on.
We provide an excellent service for individuals who've had catastrophic injury cases, people who've had injuries that are going to last them, unfortunately, for the rest of their life. Being there for a person, being there to actually see them get better, that is what this field is all about. That's what we're really striving to do, and that's what we think we provide. You still have to have that empathy for the person so you can tell their story to the jury. At the end of the day, that's where your case is heard.
Has a recent storm damaged the roof of your home? Altman Roofing has been restoring homes since 1984. In Dalton alone, over 2,000 roofs have been replaced by Altman. Altman Roofing will also work with your insurance claim. For a free 15-minute estimate for roofing, siding, or gutters, call 706-529-8136 or visit altmanroofing.com. You can also see their professional work on Facebook.
Thank you.
Thank you, North Georgia. Gracias, North Georgia.
We appreciate you, North Georgia.
I'm C-Mark. I'm John Moore. Like the Georgia Bulldogs, we're number one.
Thank you, North Georgia, for voting us number one 6 years in a row.
If you're hurt and want the best,
give us a call. We'll do the rest.
And welcome back to Monday Night Football. Joining us for this segment, as I left last segment, go Bruins, we have head coach for Northwest girls and boys, Coach Isa Gutierrez. Coach Gutierrez, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having me, I guess you could say. But, I mean, it's always a pleasure being here.
All right, Todd, I know this is your alma mater. I'll let you handle this. You let me handle the rage earlier. I'm just here to –
You're just here to make sure I don't go overboard with this?
Make sure you don't go overboard all the time.
So let's talk about your girls first, okay? You lose some players last year. I look at you lost your keeper.
Right.
Anna Karen Aries. You lost, I think, is it Selena Gomez?
Savannah,
Gomez,
sister,
yes.
the sister of Selena, yeah.
But you're returning – and this is wild to me, Sadie Clark, Meryl Clark, Lexi Line, Juliana Herrera, Sophie Hargis, Lorelai Uten. I mean, you got a lot of returning talent. So how are you approaching this season? What are the expectations like?
Expectations are always high, I think, with those kind of girls. They have a good mindset. You know, the way they work is impressive. So the expectations are always high. I think it's a couple of questions like you answered, or you were asking about Savannah and the keeper.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those are the questions that we're asking ourselves in the first couple of games and hoping to get good answers here soon. If not, we'll back to the drawing board and we'll figure it out.
It's like I always say, if you can't find a keeper, go find one of them volleyball girls.
And their schedule is not like, so when I was putting the schedule together, the teams that you're playing, the team, I don't know if you saw the teams that Dalton High girls that Coach Almodovar put together, they're going out and playing top tier talent.
Absolutely.
From the state of, out of Atlanta.
Well, I think with Westminster last year going into the playoffs, you know, our expectation is playoffs, and we're hoping to get to the playoffs. And when we get to the playoffs, we don't want to be shocked by any team. And I think when we saw Westminster, we were like, whoa, you know, they're fast. They know how to move the ball, which is a different level. So I guess getting some of those Marietta teams on our schedule will hopefully make that transition a little bit easier if we ever run into another Westminster or even a North Oconee in the playoffs.
Well, going to last year, you guys finished 12-4-1, second in region. I know that part was a disappointment, but you come out Soccer City Cup champions. I know that meant a lot to you guys. Yeah. But, first I know you guys want to stake claim to the region. Right. So how do you, what's your, I guess, are you looking at the same thing as Heritage, your main rival in that this year?
It's always Heritage and Southeast, I think, with the girls. I think, Southeast is going to be a really, really good team. Heritage lost a couple of players, but I know they still have some good threads, with Zoe on the wing. And then the other ones, Cedartown, and Sonoraville and Central Carrollton, they always provide us a little bit of difficulties if we're not on our A game that day. But I think the three main ones you could argue are us, Heritage, and Southeast. I don't think it's
so
just
either one. Any of those three on the girls' side could be region champs. And last year we saw it. It came down to those three combining to play each other.
And even more so, it came down to the last few weeks of the season, which is always wild and a little nerve-wracking.
So obviously, Todd mentioned Westminster. So obviously, the expectations are state. Before you took on, they went to back-to-back Final Fours. So what's the realistic expectations for your girls this year?
Making a deep run. Like ultimately, the way state works out is who do you have on your side? That's a sad reality. But who do you have on your side? And we got matched up with Westminster second round. And they will go on to win the state championship. And so it's just who you get on your side and how the luck falls as well.
Winning region, right?
Yes,
that's the difference between first and second. Going on the road to West, nobody wants that draw.
That's right.
Let's talk about your boys now. 9-6-2. Region champions for the first time in a while.
A long time.
What did that feel like?
That felt great. I think the boys enjoyed it. I think that's a game that the boys really do circle on their schedule. Ultimately, I like to break our schedule down into three different parts. It's in February, it's getting ready for region, and March is region, and after that is playoffs. And so I think our big game has always been Southeast on the boys' side, just because that has major implications, to region seating and region standings. And at the same time, you look back at it and you say it's been about 6 or 7 years since we've got a region championship. And so
and we got to enjoy this year because next year it changes. We're
not going into that here today.
But it changes because there's going to be more. You mentioned that this will be the last year where you guys are playing Southeast within the region.
Mm-hmm.
You guys drop down, so this game is going to have major implications because obviously Southeast is going to come in. Hey, we lost. We can't go out the last year in the region losing again. So I'm looking forward to that match.
Always.
Of course.
And it's going to be played on turf.
Oh yeah, how's that turf treating you up there?
That's nice. It was nice this week for sure. You know, all the rain coming in. Last year we would have been indoors, but with this week it was nice. We were out there every single day. So
going back to your boys, you lose goals and you lose leadership.
That's right.
You lose Nico Kuna, you lose White Chocolate, Hayden Adams, and also and Adrian Capistran, who had been on your roster for 4 years. So, but I know you also have some depth at keeper now. You got a sophomore coming back, Yuri Martinez, who's an outstanding shot stopper. Who else are you looking to step up?
You look at Giovanni Witanda, senior. I think we graduated pretty much our whole back line, and so Witanda was the only one left, and so I'm looking at him to lead the back line. In the middle of the field, Molina and Tapia, two good players who we've had on the.
Molina coming off an injury last year,
yes,
is that correct?
Yes, and he's good to go now. And of course, unfortunately, his body is just injury prone, but we're trying to keep him as healthy as we can. And then up top, that's where I'm looking. I have a couple of questions, and hopefully we get a couple of answers in the first couple of games, but we'll see.
Don't you play Dalton right off the bat? So, you're going to have questions right there.
Right off
February
the bat.
1st. You have a scrimmage.
And I think with the likes of Nico, you can't it's goals and assists, and so we're looking for 3 or 4 players to give us those same numbers, and that'll be beneficial.
And I guess moving on. So when I look at players, I think about Chris Tapia.
Yeah.
Okay, we've seen him come from a freshman. I saw the improvement from freshman to sophomore, and I usually see one of the biggest jumps in development from sophomore to junior. And that's where he's at right now. What are you looking for from a player like that this year?
Well, freshman year, you have him come in. He's a small little guy. He was out on the wing, still causing damage. Don't get me wrong. But when we were doing conditioning, cardio, he was one of the ones in the middle of the pack. Come this past week, he's doing the cardio, the same thing he's doing, and he's the one leading it. And so that's the development there. And like I said, at the same time, he's telling players he's feeling more comfortable. He's having more confidence, letting players know, like, hey, I need you here. We need to be doing this. We need to be working here. And so that's the development that he's shown in the past couple of years. And I'm hoping he puts it to the next level.
And like a lot of the players, I've noticed some of them been putting some time in the weight room as well.
Yeah, that's also a good thing.
And my thing is, Coach Gutierrez, how does it feel, or is there any added pressure knowing that your little brothers to the north side, Creek, have won 2 state titles. You guys got one. So does that give you an added fuel of the fire? Like, hey, it used to be us. It used to be Dalton, Southeast, Northwest. Now it's Dalton, Southeast, Creek up in there. You drop down to the bottom tier. How does that feel?
Whoa. You may handle this? Don't be coming at my guy like that, okay?
I'm trying to,
we hold down our own up in Tunnel Hill.
Like I said, ultimately, it's different classifications, different opponents, and we give credit to the Creek, we give credit to Dalton. Southeast is a different side there, of course, because we're in the same classification. But we look at them, that's the light that we want to, that's the light we need to reach the next level. It's not a competitive standpoint until we're on the field. We're trying to get each other better, but after that, that's really it.
That said, well, appreciate Coach Gutierrez coming in. He's got one. He's got another one on the way. I don't know how he's going to do it this season, but much respect to you and your
Absolutely.
wife. Give her a shout out, man.
I give her a shout out. She's always my backbone there throughout the season. I know life's not easy, but she's plugging away.
All right. Well, Todd, let's go ahead and go to commercial break, and we come back. We'll have the Dalton High Catamounts.
My car looks totally ruined. I don't even know what to do.
Locally owned Dalton Collision Center is the only choice when it comes to all of your auto body and refinish needs. Our experienced staff provides quality work from start to finish, will help with your claim, and even assist with getting your rental car. Everything from A to Z.
So you can focus on life, we can focus on getting you there.
We provide an excellent service for individuals who've had catastrophic injury cases, people who've had injuries that are going to last them, unfortunately, for the rest of their life. Being there for a person, being there to actually see them get better, that is what this field is all about. That's what we're really striving to do, and that's what we think we provide. You still have to have that empathy for the person so you can tell their story to the jury. At the end of the day, that's where your case is heard.
This year, Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty is proudly commemorating our 50th anniversary, and what a journey it has been. For 5 decades, Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty has been the heartbeat of real estate in Northwest Georgia.
We've had the privilege of helping thousands of homeowners with their real estate transactions. Thank you, Dalton and Northwest Georgia.
Whether you're buying, selling, or expanding your business, trust the experience that comes with 50 years of excellence. Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty with offices in Dalton, Calhoun, Cartersville, Ringgold, and Cleveland, Tennessee.
And welcome back to Monday Night Football, Coaches Edition. As we mentioned right before the last break, as we promised, we have the Dalton High School Catamounts. We have Coach Matt Cheeves coming into your 30th season.
That's right, 30 years.
And then we have Coach Almodovar, quite not 30. What,
Not
Coach?
30.
What, season?
7 or 8.
7 or 8. All right, Coach, we're going to go ahead and, Coach Cheeves, we're going to go ahead and get started with you. Obviously, you brought the Soccer City Cup, as they are the 2-time defending champ of the Soccer City Cup here between the local teams, which is a big, obviously, it puts a barometer there because it lets you know how you're playing within your local area, but then obviously you know how you're going to be able to compete within the state. But you're coming off another state championship, number 7 for the program. Obviously, we know what the expectations are, but what are you looking forward to this season being 30? Like, are you going to sit back and reflect on what you've done in the last 30, or you're not even looking at that yet?
No, it's not time to look at that yet. We're just going forward, and our goals are the same as they always are, but right now that means a lot of work and building and you know, what leads up to that.
And you've got
a lot of work to do in the meantime.
And you've got you always have a tough schedule. But you're going down to Alabama, playing Fort Payne, playing Vestavia Hills that first week. You got a scrimmage game with Northwest. What are you looking forward to getting out of those first 3 or 4 games of the beginning of the season?
Oh, well, I'm looking to try to get our chemistry back, get everybody playing together in unison with the same chemistry. Because a lot of the kids come from different clubs and different league teams, and they play different ways when they're there, and that's good. I like them coming back with different stuff. But we have our way of playing, and so we kind of have to get everybody back to playing together. So that's one of the big things to work on right now. So I'm hoping we can get that done, you know, early in the season and against some really quality opponents. While we're kind of short on days, you know, the weather interfered with us the first week. So, you know, we're really short on days to be ready to play, but either way, it's the same for everybody.
Okay. And Coach Almodovar, obviously, first of all, we can't go. We have a fantasy league that we're in together, and he is the defending champ. So this, the little trophy, comes with a belt buckle, but he didn't want to wear it. Couldn't see it if he wanted to. But Coach Almodovar, you're coming off probably the greatest run in Dalton High School girls Catamount. Like, you're coming on 3 straight region championships. It hasn't been done before. Do you feel like there's a bullseye, or the expectations have been raised now? Or
Definitely. I think the standard, you know, you said it. You set the standard. We've set a high bar for our girls, and they know what we need to do. We just, you know, had a couple of weeks of practice, or a week of practice or so, and I mean, I laid it out for them. Hey, if you want to run it back and do it 4 in a row, then we're gonna have to put some work in on the field, commitment, get that chemistry back, and work hard. So, because we will have a bullseye when region play comes.
And talk about your schedule. Obviously, region schedule's tough, but obviously you're out of region schedule and stuff. You've set the bar high. You trying to match what Coach Cheeves does on the boys. You're going out and scheduling some very tough competition out of the Atlanta area. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We got the Lambert Longhorns on the schedule this year. We went down to Walton last year. The girls need to be exposed to that type of soccer, fast, physical,
I mean, they're really good teams down there, and so you try to mimic that during the season so that when playoff time comes around, they're not shell shocked. What they see out there, they're ready to go. They're mentally there, and ready to go play soccer. So yeah, we definitely try to put a pretty good schedule together.
And Coach Cheeves, I know you've only had about a week and a half with the boys. Any players, you've lost some talent last year, but obviously Dalton is never a rebuild, it's always a reload. I think you've lost one player to an injury that you may not have this year. Who do you see out there that so far that's caught your eye, or maybe someone that's unexpected, and who do you expect to send out for you?
I'm not really sure who's going to stand out for us. Even the guys we're talking the other day, there's no like superstar on this team, but everybody's very solid, and I like it that way. But David Saldana is a senior in the middle. He's leading the team. Angel Salaces is kind of getting slid up front, kind of fill that role where Zeke was, and player we lost to injury, actually 2 to injury, and that both would have played that position. In the back, we got Chris, we got German, we got Romeo, we got Salvador, all back.
So do you feel like your back line is probably going to be the heart of your team, the strongest where you have?
Well, our midfield is back, and our defense is back. So that back line and our midfield line is there. It changed a little bit, but those people are all still there. And then there's a couple young guys that were JV last year that they're pushing. They're going to get playing time. They're going to play. They might even take starting positions. I mean, they're moving fast, and they're taking it very serious, and they're trying to listen and fit in because they want to be that player on the varsity team.
And who have you seen step up so far to fill that leadership? And you had Zeke last year. Mm-hmm. Who have you seen so far that you think is going to step up or has shown like, hey, I want to be the person that lead this team, and how I say it goes is what we're going to do?
David Saldana has jumped out to start. Angel Salaces, Romeo Chavarria. Chris Lopez is always vocal and leading, and he's doing a really good job of being positive with the other guys to push them in the right direction. So I think at any given time, any one of those guys can be a leader.
Coach Almodovar, what about you? Like, obviously, you graduated some girls last year, but you started a lot of freshmen and sophomores. What are who's stood out for you, and who has stepped up in that leadership role?
Well, I think we have actually really big senior group, and I think there's any of those girls could take the role. America Quintero has been really vocal last week and a half. And I'm always ready to see what other girls step up. Like I said, you never know. This is the beginning of the season. Seniors, they're seniors now, and like I said, they're going to kind of talk to the other girls and see where that leadership takes them this season. But either one of those girls could step up to lead, and definitely I think I see some juniors stepping in there too, and hopefully they can make it happen this year.
And here we got a little minute or so. Coach Cheeves, anything you want to tell the Dalton fans out there? Like, try to get them out to your games. Obviously, it's never a problem, but just give them out there what they look forward to see.
Yeah, I think we're going to play a really good brand of soccer this year. It's going to be exciting. We'll be fast-paced. We'll be attacking, just like always. And the crowd just keeps getting better and better. We play excellent soccer, but we've got great fans at Dalton High School. Catamount soccer fans, and then even other people who aren't necessarily Catamount fans, they enjoy coming to our games because we play quality opponents, and they just like to see the brand of soccer that we play. So it's going to be a good environment. It's going to be fun. We're trying to work on some other things going on at the games to make it a little more interesting and fun for the fans, but just encourage everybody to come out. We'll put on a good show.
What about you, Coach Almodovar, for the ladies?
Exactly the same thing. Our brand of soccer, I think, it's coming up, and we're going to have exciting teams out there to look forward to, and we're always trying to get our fans to come up and watch our game too, because I think we kind of set the tone for the boys for the most part.
Yeah. All right, and with that, we'll say thank you to the coaches from Dalton High School. That we're going to go to commercial break.
Here's two of the nicest guys in the car business.
Hey, it's Eddie and Greg here from North Georgia Toyota. It's our big midwinter sales event. And our new car and truck inventory is steadily increasing. So shop now while selection is at its best. Greg, other dealers are going to say, we can't do that. What do we say?
We say, oh, yes, we can.
And that's only at North Georgia Toyota in Dalton. Come see us.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
When I work from home, I need fast, reliable internet. OptiLink provides that with no hidden fees.
Our customers depend on us for great service and quality.
And that's why we chose OptiLink Internet.
As we serve the needs of our clients, we need reliable internet service. That's why I chose OptiLink as my hometown provider.
Some people say you can't get fast internet. I say, oh, yes, you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today.
I'm Purvi, live in Dalton, Georgia with Dos First Fresh Mexican Grill.
And I'm Rusty with Builtwell Bank.
My husband and I are business owners, and we have known Rusty for 15 years now.
Yes, we've done a lot of projects together.
That's right. And we need banking partners that understand our small business need.
We understand you can have a great idea, but you need financing.
Everyone at the bank knows my name, which I love. For my personal and business needs, my bank is Builtwell.
Back to Monday Night Football Coaches Show Edition 2024. We are to our last coaches segment, and we are bringing in North Murray County coaches, boys coach Matt Chambers and girls coach Rolando Ambridge. Coaches, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, so let's just get it kicked off. Let's start with you, Coach Chambers, coming off a great season, 11-2. You guys finished second in the region, get knocked out in a tough bout against Union County last year. Just kind of put a bow on 2023 for us.
2023 was it was a hard year. It was a good season. It came out the right way. We had a lot of injuries. I think a lot of teams in this area with players playing all over the place have that and playing multiple sports. But we overcame a lot of those injuries and we're able to perform. And hopefully we can take those lessons we learned last year and put them back into play to make us even tougher. And hopefully we can get region championship again this year. That'd be amazing. That's our goal.
And Coach Ambridge, you guys coming off an 8-8 season, second in the region, and also getting knocked out against Union County in first round of the state playoffs. Looking back on last year, what are some of the things off last year you're wanting to build off of?
Mainly, I do like our attacking mentality. So far, most of our girls are actually didn't leave. We have a pretty solid team when it comes to attacking. I know we lost Kelly.
You lost Kelly, yeah. That's what.
She was really important.
20 goals.
20 goals.
Yeah.
But I mean, we got young blood coming up, and so I think we'll be okay. It's definitely going to hurt us as a team leader, but I think we'll be all right.
Now, I know you did lose some seniors last year, but coming back, you got like Carly Clark, Ruby Hernandez. You have Linda, as you like to call her, one name, and is it Mariela Arredondo?
Yes, Mariela Arredondo. So those players are actually, I mean, you named about 3 freshmen there that were actually starting, were on the starting 11 last year. So
these are going to be sophomores, their second year.
Yes, and they're, undisputably, starters.
I know last year we talked about it on the show that you had some young up and coming talent.
Yep.
I assume these are the girls you were talking about, so they're just building off of last year's success.
And I like the way their mentality is because it's not, they're thinking ahead and they're actually getting ready as the years come. And they understand they were freshmen and they got 3 more years, so they know they have time to get better and actually help improve the team and help the incoming freshmen because they went through it.
And Coach Chambers, you have a lot of goals to replace. Losing a guy like, Uriel Marquez, just a guy that set the school record for goals. I mean, it's got to be a team approach in replacing that many goals.
Yeah, definitely. Uriel's probably one of the best players I've ever coached, if not the best player I've ever coached. I think what made him such a good player, he was obviously gifted on the field, but off the field he was too. He's now going to Kennesaw, going to be an engineer, smart guy. He was a leader. He was humble. It's going to be hard. And yes, definitely going to be a team approach. We got a little bit of taste of that last year with some of his injuries.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It's hard. He had such a great season last year, but he was riddled with injuries, and so other players had to step up.
So, it's definitely going to be a team mentality. We have We have Juan Pablo, who's now a sophomore. He's got a cannon for a leg. We have a young freshman who I believe is like 36th, 38th in state in cross country, so the kid can move, and he can move for a long time. So we are going to run him up and down the field. And we're going to play a lot of possession, and we're going to play some really good defense. And I don't know if we're going to replace him, but we're going to find a different way and a different approach.
Absolutely. Now, you're talking about, we've talked about injuries a little bit here, and we're going to go a little bit off script and something we hadn't talked about with any of the other coaches. GHSA next year is looking to shorten the season. This year, they pushed the start back a couple of weeks, and next year, they're going to condense it by a couple of weeks. And we were talking about the workload that's already being put on some of these players and recovery and that sort of thing. So how do you guys see that playing out? You both struggled with injuries over the past year. I mean, that just seems to complicate things.
Well, coming from our school's been relatively small compared to other schools. It's hard to get players, and if one of our players gets injured, it's harder to replace. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely going to be tough, and less practice time really, and that's important for our programs.
And that's something we actually touched on with, whether it was Dalton Academy, Christian Heritage, Coahulla Creek. You do have multi-sport athletes, right? It's in the case where this is the only sport these kids play. And I think it's great for development overall. But you have these kids that are coming in off other sports and to have that condensed season. For me, it just seems one of the other decisions questionable decisions that GHSA has made life a little more difficult on you guys. So let's just talk a little bit about this year's expectation. Coach Chambers, we'll start with you. Second in the region, I know that's not where you want to be. And of course, so just what do you want this year? I think I know the answer.
I've been thinking a lot about this, and I guess this is my 15th year coaching, which is kind of crazy. And there's that comment that coaches make, it's a rebuild year or it's a reload year. And as a high school coach, honestly, I don't think that exists. And I don't think that's fair either, because we're constantly every year rebuilding. I counted, we lost 8 players last year, 10 players the year before, 9 players the year before. So we have a smaller upper class. But I think that's disrespectful to those seniors, because we're here to give it everything we got. We're going to fight hard. And what it means is me as a coach, I have a new challenge, and I have to respond to that, and I have to get the younger guys, and the underclassmen need to step up. Starting the season with 3 starting seniors is a scary thing, but actually it's an opportunity for a lot of other players to grow and to use that energy, so we're going to get after it. We're going to bring that North Murray feistiness and fight everybody kind of mentality. That's a great blessing 99% of the time, and sometimes I get a little crazy with that. But our expectation is region championship. The seniors deserve it. They're part of some really good teams, so why not? Why would I change my expectations? We're going to go out, we're going to win region championship this year, and we're going to give it everything we have. We want to go deep in the playoffs. That's the real goal. That's the real challenge. We know we're good for this area. We know we're good for our region, but now it's to show the rest of Georgia that we're for real.
A great answer, and I love that mentality. Chip on your shoulder and the expectation high. Coach Chambers, I'll go to you. I mean, pretty much same question. What are you looking for out of your girls this year? What's the first goal, and then what's beyond that?
Right now, for the girls, I always tell them at the beginning of the season is we have to do better than last year. And so far, the teams have been able to do that. First year, we were really, really close to going to the state. Second year, we went to state. Third year, we actually got to host. So every year, we've been improving, and there's small details we keep on improving. This year, I want to do the same thing. I host a game, and, I won that region championship like that.
Yeah.
And that's what the girls understand, because they've seen it. Not to sound mean or anything, but in the past years, this year is different. The vibe is different. They know what they have to do, and they're locked in, and so it's a different vibe, and I can feel it. The girls want it, and we're gonna get it this year.
Well, coaches, thanks for joining us. And you got your first games. We got a scrimmage on February 2nd for both of you versus Dawson County, and then your opener regular season game. Both of you be taking on Haralson County. So best wishes to you guys, and of course, good luck for the season. All right, stay tuned. We're going to wrap it all up here on Monday Night Football, Coaches Edition. I will see you on the other side of the break.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football.
And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on. That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles. And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Come see us.
Hey, that's our part.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
I chose OptiLink because of the great local service. We know computers, and OptiLink knows internet with high-speed symmetrical uploads and downloads.
My customers depend on me for safety and security, and I need fast and dependable internet. That's why I chose OptiLink.
Some people say you can't have fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today, 706-529-1313.
I'm Waylon. I live in Dalton, and I'm the owner of Elite Lineman Training Institute.
And I'm Mitch Sanford with Bitwell Bank.
When I left Georgia Power to start my own business, I met with Mitch and told him what we were doing.
I told Waylon, you're the kind of business we want to work with.
We have a very high standard for how we work as a company and especially how we treat our clients. After a very candid conversation with Mitch, we knew we were on the same page.
Today, we're working on several businesses, training and real estate.
Because they do the heavy lifting, so I can focus on my business. My bank is built well.
And welcome back to the final segment of Monday Night Football, Coaches Edition. Todd, we had all the coaches represented here, all the schools represented here. They all seem excited about the season. What do you think? What do you think they had to say today?
Well, I think there's a lot of questions posed. I think there's more questions remaining than answered today, but I think all the coaches have high expectations. I think they love their squads, and I think we're going to have another exciting year, not just locally, but I love the fact I saw one certain high school put the state playoff schedule on their schedule. I was like, so I think that's where all the minds are. Everybody's going to be working through the preseason for the postseason, and big things once again.
Yeah, so this, like I mentioned, this is going to be a busy week. So if we can pull up that schedule with all the games coming up this week, and look at that, Todd. First, boys, let's just look what we got on February 6th right here.
Christian Heritage at home to Ringgold, Murray County at Sonoraville.
Yes.
Coahulla Creek at home to Union County, Southeast at Calhoun, and North Murray plays host to Haralson County.
Then February 8th, we have Coahulla Creek versus Pickens County, Murray County at home versus Gilmer County. Then we have Northwest at Cass.
Dalton Academy at home to Heritage, Southeast Meadow Creek. Dalton travels to Fort Payne for the invitational tournament as they do most years. North Murray at Rockmart, and then Christian Heritage versus Temple.
And I actually have a bet with that Southeast Meadow Creek game. My wife's ex-boss for junior achievement, he is a Meadow Creek alum. So
I'm not sure you can say that.
Well, we bet that we were going to shave heads, but he doesn't want, so we said we're going to shave the beard. So I got a lot riding on this game. So I need the Miguel Garcia and the Southeast Raider boys to pull out that win because I don't want to shave the beard.
If ever you want to take a nail,
yes,
go ahead.
But then on Saturday, we have Dalton playing at Vestavia Hills in the Alabama tournament. They play year-round. And then we have Southeast playing Berkmar at the University of North Georgia. So we'll see how that goes. Let's go to the women's schedule.
Dalton Academy at Armurchie, and then Coahulla Creek, Union County. Dalton at home to Dade County. Southeast travels Calhoun. Murray County at Sonoraville, and North Murray hosts Haralson.
And really quick here, the final games, we have Creek playing at Pickens County, Murray County at Gilmer. On Friday, February 9th, we have Christian Heritage versus Temple, Southeast Girls versus Meadow Creek, North Murray at Rockmart, Dalton versus Kennesaw Mountain. So here in the final seconds, we got a lot of games. So if don't say you don't want to go watch soccer, because there are a lot of soccer out there for this week.
Yeah, so get out there, support local, stay with us this year. Look us up on social media, WDNM Monday Night Football, Facebook, and Instagram.
And thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode.